Okay, team, we are ready to go. Hello, and welcome to this live online meeting of the US 87 West of Divide project. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lisa Gray, the Public Involvement Lead for HDR. This meeting, members of the Montana Department of Transportation will share project details and respond to your questions. We believe this open house and question and answer session will allow us to engage with you, gather your comments and issues, and provide the project team with information to design a better project. MDT is using online meetings to engage with stakeholders who cannot attend the in-person meeting. As a reminder, the in-person meeting where you can meet the project team will be held Thursday, October 7th, 2 days from now, from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Lewistown Public Library. As a reminder, today's session is being recorded, and a copy of this meeting and the presentation will be posted on the project's webpage next week. Now it's time to meet the project team. The project team consists of consultants working collaboratively with the department. Our team members are going to introduce themselves. Rod, you're up first.
Well, good morning. My name is Rod Nelson. I'm the Billings District Administrator for the Montana Department of Transportation.
And hello, my name is Mike Taylor. I work for MDT in our Billings office, and I'm the Billings District Pre-Construction Engineer.
Hello, my name is Jacob Rotzler. I work in MDT's Billings office, and I am the Project Design Manager.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Fabricius. I'm the right-of-way supervisor for the Billings District, also with MDT.
Hi, my name is Joey Barron, and I'm the MDT Design Civil Engineer Specialist for this job.
You've already met me, Lisa Gray. I'll be your point of contact for the project. Now I'm going to turn the meeting over to MDT's Mike Taylor.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I just want to take a minute to briefly discuss a strategy that MDT has adopted on Montana roadways, and it's called Vision Zero. Vision Zero is a strategy to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries and increasing the safety and mobility of the traveling public on Montana roadways. Tragically, in 2020, there were 212 fatalities on Montana roadways. And so far in 2021, as of last week, there has been 169 fatalities, which is about 16 more than the same time last year. So statistically, Montana roadways have had another rough year so far. So we're asking for your help to eliminate the fatalities and serious injuries in Montana, and we need everyone to do their part. We need everyone to be attentive. We need everyone to drive when sober. We need everyone to drive to the conditions of the roadway and to not speed. And finally, we need everyone to use their seatbelts. Together, we can make a difference and save lives. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining us today. We definitely want to hear your feedback regarding this project. But before we present the project specifics, we'll hear again from Lisa. We'll talk about the Q&A forum for this project. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. A question and answer session will be held immediately following the presentation. Feel free to write your questions now or at any time during the presentation, and we will answer your questions live after the PowerPoint presentation concludes. In order to participate in the question and answer session, locate the QA button on the bottom of your screen. Click the button, which is highlighted in green on the PowerPoint slide. Type your question and remember to hit send. Now I'll turn the presentation over to our project manager. Jacob will tell you about the US 87 West of Divide project.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Again, my name is Jacob Rotzler. The US 87 West of Divide project is led by the Montana Department of Transportation. We will be the lead project engineer and have contracted with HDR to be the public information coordinator. The project area includes approximately 5 miles of US 87 in Fergus County, east of Lewistown, as represented by the orange line on the slide. The project includes replacement of 2 bridges over Boyd Creek, One bridge is located within the project area, and the other bridge is located outside the road construction area and closer to Lewistown, as represented by the orange dot on the slide. Let's take a moment to talk through the project overview. The project was originally built in the 1930s and 1940s and is being designed to improve safety features. The early design phase includes widen the highway shoulders, replace 2 timber bridges and 2 stock passes, straighten curves, flatten hills, and realign the current roadway. Realigning the current roadway where it crosses the abandoned railroad tunnel allows MDT to eliminate the collapsed tunnel sections as well as clean up that area. Drainage improvements, new signage and guardrail as necessary, and centerline and shoulder rumble strips will be added to improve safety for the traveling public. Let's talk through some project details. This project will include intersection improvements. Public approaches will be reconstructed to improve visibility. That's the ability to see oncoming cars. Intersections receiving improvements will include Boyd Creek Road and both Divide Road approaches. In addition, this project will take a look at the potential for climbing and turning lanes. A 12-foot wide truck climbing lane may be included for eastbound traffic west of the divide. Turning lanes are being analyzed and will be added where appropriate. Let's take a look at some road width details. Increasing the width of the shoulders will increase safety. In addition, where possible, the slopes beyond the shoulder will be less severe. This slide demonstrates the existing roadway width on the bottom with the steep slopes and narrow shoulders, and the proposed roadway on the top with the wider shoulders and the shallower slopes on the inslopes. Let's take a look at bridges, stock passes, and culverts. The timber bridges crossing Boyd Creek were both originally built in 1942 and will be replaced. Work is currently being done to determine the best bridge designs for each location. Two timber stock passes are within the project limits. MDT will work with the landowners regarding the replacement of these stock passes. Existing culverts will be replaced as necessary, and existing drainage patterns will be maintained to the extent practicable. We're not currently aware of irrigation facilities within the project limits. I'll turn it over to Michael now, and he's going to talk to you about right-of-way.
Thank you, Jacob. And again, thanks to everybody for joining us. So as part of this project, and in order to incorporate and construct a lot of the features that Jacob's talking about, right-of-way acquisition is anticipated throughout the project. The type of acquisition will vary, from fee simple to easement to temporary construction permits, depending on what impacts are going to be constructed. And that will be determined as the design process goes on. As part of this project, mailbox turnouts and their design will be evaluated to ensure safe use in the future. For fencing, the existing right-of-way fencing will be removed as part of the project, and new right-of-way fencing will be installed along the new right-of-way line. The details of that will be discussed with each landowner. And there's some snow fence out there. Existing will be replaced to meet current standards, and new snow fence will be constructed where it's needed and warranted. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Let's take a moment to talk through some of the environmental impacts of this project. Wetland impacts are anticipated and will be determined as project design progresses. Wetland impacts will be minimized where possible and mitigated where impacts will occur. Impacts to wildlife are anticipated and will be minimized and mitigated to the degree possible. Wildlife-friendly fencing to improve safety is being considered. The proposed alignment crosses the abandoned New Rockford Cutoff West Tunnel. Impacts to cultural and historic resources will be determined and minimized as the project design progresses. We've had previous public outreach for this project. In 2003, an environmental assessment brought to light several issues important to residents and drivers along this route. They include the following: impacts to farmland, fencing, property value, water, and other right-of-way impacts, study passing lanes, intersections, approaches and driveways, curves and other blind spots, shoulders width, and limited pull-off space, local concerns for wetlands, habitat preservation, and cultural impacts, and the addressing of vehicle animal impacts, snow, ice, and ponding water on roadways. I'd like to take this minute to just mention that at this stage of design, it's a great time to share your comments and concerns with us. We really do appreciate your feedback. Let's talk through the project schedule. Preliminary field studies are currently ongoing with an anticipated completion date in the first quarter of 2022. Alternative analysis and preliminary design has an anticipated completion date in the third quarter of 2022. Anticipated design completion is in 2024. Funding for construction is not currently programmed, but construction could begin as early as 2027, funding dependent. That's it for me. I'm going to turn the presentation back over to Lisa. Thank you.
A big thank you to all our presenters. As previously mentioned, MDT will use public input from this online meeting as the project moves forward, and we will continue to work closely with the project landowners and stakeholders. We hope you will stay involved with us. Now we'd like to open the meeting to your questions. Remember, in order to participate in the question and answer session, please locate the QA button on the bottom of your screen. Type in your question and click the blue send button. Now let's get started. Okay, we have no questions so far. I'm going to take this moment to remind everyone that we will have an in-person open house public meeting in 2 days at the Lewistown Public Library from 3 to 6 p.m. We only have 3 attendees today. I'm going to see if we can check in with each of the attendees. So if the team would just stand by for a minute. Mr. Street, did you have any questions for us today?
The only comment I had, I'm the Defense Access Road representative from Malmstrom Air Force Base. So I guess just, this is one of our primary routes we use out in the missile complex. So I guess just taking that into consideration with any kind of detours or, construction detours during time of construction.
Okay. That's wonderful. And just so you guys know, we normally do the question answer because it's much easier for us when we have 20 people online to track everything because the system does it for us. And I'm just opening it up so that we can, this will, I think, make it easier for you guys. Okay, Mr. Street, thanks for your time. We sure appreciate it.
So Lisa, I can address Mr. Street's concern there. So
Thank you.
So throughout the process, we'll put together a traffic control plan, and we'll definitely stay in coordination with Malmstrom. Right now, we anticipate that we'll maintain traffic throughout the construction of the project. So there may be some short delays, some flagger stations, that sort of thing, but we'll maintain at least one direction of traffic. Alternating directions throughout the life of the project. But we'll definitely stay in touch with you folks, and hopefully we can address any concerns that you may have before this goes to construction.
Mike, thank you very much for keeping me straight on that. Mr. Henderson, if you'd like to unmute your line, if you have a question for us, please let us know.
Am I unmuted now?
You are, we can hear you. Did you have something you wanted to share with the project team or ask questions?
Yes, just the very first thing about realignment of the road on where it starts from the east, where the current start would be. Is there possibility with today's construction technology and everything to go straight east and continue Highway 200 straight east to the divide? Currently, right there where it starts, it goes southwest, or excuse me, southeast for a mile and a half up a drainage and then corners, of course, and then it has to go northeast to get to the divide. It appears to me that it could be straightened out and go directly east of the divide with a climbing lane as proposed and everything else. Or maybe that's already the way it is proposed, but anybody
Okay.
have an answer?
Okay,
that?
Mr. Henderson, thank you very much. Jacob, would you like to take that?
Absolutely. Thank you. We are currently at the phase of the project where we are considering alternative alignments. And one thing, I was just pulling up kind of a preliminary layout that we've got here, and we do try to stay, I guess, relatively near the existing roadway. Just from a standpoint of it can be quite challenging to go cross country, but we are certainly happy to take a look and talk a little bit more about that. Is there a chance that you could make it to I'll have large layout sheets at the public meeting on Thursday, and it would be really helpful to be able to point at the exact area and talk through some of that with you. Jay, is there any possibility you'll be able to join us on Thursday in person?
He needs just a minute to unmute. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, am I unmuted now?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Actually, dang it, I can't. I'm a Lewistown resident and I'm out of town right now, so I'm glad I'm able to even do this. I can't make it to that meeting, but I'm sure I'll be able to see your proposals and stuff later. But yep, I just can't make it. Out of town.
Okay,
No problem.
well, and we'll have those maps on the website in the following next week. So when folks write on them, we'll take some photos of them and put them on the website, and at least you'll be able to see what the design currently is.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Okay,
Yeah.
so Mr. Hamblin, if you would have a question or a comment or would like to say something, please go ahead and unmute.
No, I'm good, Lisa. I'm just here to listen in.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so gentlemen, if you have anything else, please go ahead and unmute yourselves. I've given you permissions, I think. So if you have anything else, let us know. Otherwise, we can finish up.
Can you hear me again?
Yes, Mr. Henderson. Yep.
The only thing is I see in the proposal that a proposed climbing lane may be in the works there. Two things I would like to just say is I think a climbing lane is almost a necessity on this divide. And not only the project is called West of the Divide, but there is considerable amount of the project that is east of the divide too. And just wondering if we can get that climbing lane right in the get-go, because we have so much traffic on there that is local agricultural traffic and local sightseers, etc. And now it's being mixed in with a long haul high-speed traffic. We're seeing a lot of truck traffic between grain elevators, Moccasin, on and on, headed out to Glendive. Tourist traffic that's, Glendive to Great Falls, and they are not slowing up. It's 80-mile-an-hour traffic. And when you get all this mixture of local slow traffic and high speed stuff, I think climbing lanes are a necessity at this point, because they're having to slow up so much, because there is, what is there, 600-700 feet of elevation change between the bottom and the top of that. And just one more comment, how it ties in eventually with some other project to the east. I think a climbing lane on the east side of this project is even more of a necessity going forward. But just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Henderson, thank you very much. And I have to tell you, we were at the Berry Festival last month, and I heard similar concerns from the folks that stopped by our booth about the combined high-speed traffic and the local traffic as well. Okay, so I think, Mr. Street, I think you said thank you, so I'm going to just assume that you are good to go right now. And I'd like to turn this over quickly to Rod Nelson, if he has anything to say to our stakeholders. We can begin to wrap up the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. So once again, thank you guys for joining us. We really do appreciate this input, and please stay in touch with us. I know that Lisa said that just a minute ago. That is very important to do. As people change, time goes on. We want to continue to be engaged with you to make sure that we get this to the best of our abilities. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Rod. Does anybody else have any closing comments? Okay. I would like to thank all of our presenters, and I would like to thank our stakeholders. These meetings are a huge time commitment, and I realize that. You've made it go off very smoothly, and I appreciate it. Have a lovely afternoon, and if you can join us in person on Thursday, sounds good. Otherwise, we'll see you next time around. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.